I'm Noreen and welcome to my kitchen, and by popular demand, today we are going to make pumpkin baked donuts. Let's go see how we do this. These are super simple. We're going to use our donut pans once again, and we're going to mix up a quick batter. Now, I had some questions on the last baked donut video, and most of them were, can I make muffins instead of donuts if I don't have the donut pans? And yes, you can. You can use standard muffin pans. You're going to want to fill them 3/4 of the way full, and you're going to want to bake them for 20 to 23 minutes. So we're going to go over the ingredients, and I'm just going to give you a broad overview because you can always go to noreenskitchen.com and print out the recipe. Not a big deal. What you're going to need is you're going to need some granulated sugar. You're going to need some all-purpose flour, eggs, melted butter, vegetable oil, canned pumpkin puree or fresh pumpkin puree, and then some vanilla extract, some pumpkin pie spice, some baking powder, and some salt. And that's it. We're not even using a mixer today. This is super simple. Today, we're just going to kind of mix it all together and drop it in the bowl. Well, reverse that. Drop it in the bowl and mix it all together.
Yeah. Not necessarily in order.
No, that's right. All right, and the canned pumpkin I'm using, I am using canned pumpkin, and it is 1 can of canned pumpkin. So there's some vegetable oil, some melted butter, our eggs, and I'm just going to give this a quick stir after I add my vanilla extract in here. About a teaspoon or a glug or whatever makes you happy. Break up the yolks and just give this a quick turn. I just like to incorporate the wet ingredients first before we add the dry. It just tends, I think, to go a little bit more smoothly. I'm going to go ahead and pop my sugar in here. What? Did I get it on you?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
On my white shirt.
Occupational hazard. Alright. I'll try and not stir with such vigor. Okay, let's add our baking powder, our pumpkin pie spice, and our salt. If you don't have pumpkin pie spice, you can use 3/4 of a tablespoon of, use a teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and a 1/4 teaspoon each of ground cloves and ground nutmeg. And then we add our flour. And give this a quick stir. And just incorporate it completely until you have a nice batter. See, you got it on me too, honey. Okay, now I'm going to bring my donut pans over and we'll fill them. Okay, I put my batter in a Ziploc bag and I cut the tip off of one corner. You can use a pastry bag if you prefer, if it's easier for you to manipulate, but you know what? This just goes right in the garbage. And I use disposable pastry bags too all the time. But if you have like a cloth pastry bag, you can definitely use that. About 3/4 full on this. This recipe is going to make between 12 and 18 donuts. We'll see how many we get out of this. My oven is preheated at 350 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and fill another pan so that we can get all these in the oven at one time. Alright, these are going in the oven, and I'm pretty sure I can fit all 4 of these pans. Or not. Let's see what we can do here. All right, I put 3 in the oven. I actually got, what did I get? 18, 21 donuts out of this batter. So we're going to bake these for 15 to 18 minutes, and then when we come back, we'll take them out. We'll show you what they look like. So what I have here is 2 cups of powdered sugar, and to that we're going to add our extracts. Always add your flavoring first, because if you forget and you add too much liquid, then there's no room for flavor. So I'm using maple extract, and this is artificial. If you choose not to use that, it's quite all right. This is Maybelline. You can actually make pancake syrup with that. I'm going to use a teaspoon of my homemade vanilla as well. And I'm going to use about, I'm going to start with about half of this maple syrup. This is maple, is about 1/4 cup there, but first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this mixed in here. Actually, I probably use the whole thing. Let's see. It just depends on the day how this is going to behave. We may actually have to add some milk in here. Okay, I'm going to add some cream in here since the milk is out of the shed. Just carefully mix this in. You're going to make a mess, so don't fight it. If you feel like it's too thick, add a little more milk. We're making a donut glaze, which typically in the baking industry is called a fondant icing. There it goes. Still a little thick for me. Tap out your whisk. Oh, you're fine. And a little more milk. The secret to doing a really good glaze is not to add too much liquid all at once, because that sugar is going to dissolve really, really fast. And remember, we're making a donut glaze today, so if you were going to use this on a cake, you might want it a little bit looser. But since we're using it on a donut, and we want it to stay where we put it, sort of, and we kind of want it to cling, this is about where I want to keep it. We want to taste it.
Okay.
Did you just do that as I'm reaching for a spoon?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that's really good. But I'm going to add a pinch of salt to it. Because all sweet things need a little salt to offset it. So just less than 1/8 of a teaspoon, okay? Just enough.
so a smidgen.
A smidgen. Right, time is up, and these are out of the oven. Now we're going to let these sit in the pans for 5 minutes before we remove them to a rack and allow them to cool completely. When it's time to glaze them, I'll be back and I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, these are cool all the way, and they're ready to get dipped in this glaze that we made. And I'm just dipping this glaze, or this maple fondant icing is thick enough that it totally sticks to the top, especially because these donuts are completely cool. That's one of the reasons why it's super important that you want to make sure these are completely cool. And they're that way in 15 minutes or so. So if you want to make these the night before, then you can do that. That way in the morning they'll be ready to go and your family won't have to wait. But the way we do it, we usually don't decide we're going to do this until we want to do it, and then everybody has to wait. So really, we're having donuts for brunch and not breakfast on a Sunday morning. It's all fine, though. And it's super easy to do. You just dip it, and then you kind of turn it over and kind of shake it just a little, and you're going to let that frosting just kind of drizzle off. It's going to stay where you put it for the most part, but it is going to have a little bit of drippage. Not too much, though. I don't think anybody's going to complain.
Oh.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I try and dip this side that came from the bottom of the pan because it's completely symmetrical. And it looks like a donut. And this glaze is just awesome. Okay. So, do you want to taste one?
Sure.
Which one?
I don't care.
Okay. Taste it.
It's
Oh.
awful. And the camera likes it too.
Oh. Ah. Oh my gosh. That's delicious. Gush. Oh my gosh. Oh well.
That's what you're going to say when you taste these. Goosh.
If you should have any left over after feeding them to your family and sharing them, you're going to want to just keep these loosely covered on your kitchen counter. I'm going to put them out for the day. They'll be gone by tomorrow. Oh, they're so good. They taste like pumpkin bread and maple donuts all mixed up together. I hope you give these a try, and I hope that you love them, because I know that you're going to. I hope that that satisfies your request.
Sorry, I was cleaning the camera.
That's okay. For pumpkin donuts, I hope that you give these a try, and I hope that you love them. And until next time, I'll see ya. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. I hope you liked what you watched today, and I hope that you try it, and I hope that you love it. If you like what you saw, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and giving me a positive rating. And also, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're already not a subscriber, so that you don't miss out on any of the fun we have here in our kitchen every single day. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to come by tomorrow. Until next time, happy eating!